Good afternoon, everyone. Hope this video finds you well. I am posting this to help you along with our next chapter, chapter 20. We have a big project in chapter 20, and this project is going to be an illustrated book. So whenever you look at the instructions for this, please understand what I'm trying to get out of this from you. This is a large chapter. There's a lot of information in this chapter regarding African American lives in America in the first half of the 19th century. And in chapter 19, we looked at comparing the North and the South, and they're going to do that a little bit more in this chapter, but obviously focused in on African Americans alone rather than just society as a whole. And so in this chapter, we're really looking at trying to find an illustrated book where you can develop a story to explain through all of the different chapters of the book, the topics that are discussed in the chapter 20. So when you look at the instructions, each chapter is essentially a section of the text from the book online. So you have in chapter 1, the North and the South, slave and free. Chapter 2 will be the economics of slavery. Chapter 3 will be working conditions of slaves. 4 will be living conditions of slaves. 5 will be controlling slaves. 6 will be resistance to slavery. 7 will be slave families and communities. 8 will be leisure time activities. 9 will be slave churches. And chapter 10 will be African American culture. You're still going to have a cover page, and you can have a back cover as well. So this is a 60-point project. I encourage you to do this in groups. This is a lot of work. And so I'm going to allow you to do groups of up to 4 people on this project, okay? Again, if you want to work on this project with someone from Mr. George's class, you're welcome to do so. If you want to work with a student from any of my classes, you're definitely welcome to do so. Just make sure, like you did with Chapter 19, that the finished project, everybody has their own copy and you all submit it to me through Office 365 Teams. It's the easiest way to make sure that I get it and that everyone has a grade associated with the project. Okay, so what should this look like? I'm leaving it entirely up to you. However you want to do this, be creative and have fun. If you want to create like a hard copy of a book on construction paper and read it to me through a video, you're welcome to do so. If you want to create a hard copy of the book and take pictures of it and just submit the pictures to me through Teams, you can do that as well. If you want to do this on like a Sway or a PowerPoint, welcome again to do that. And if you have any other ideas and you're just not sure if it would work or not, email me, use the chat feature on Office 365, talk to me about your ideas, and we'll try to make it work. But I want you to have fun with this. I want this to be creative. I don't want to just have to keep doing PowerPoint projects. I want you to just be able to collaborate with your friends, have fun doing something a little bit outside the box here, but at the same time, displaying your understanding of what I'm trying to get out of this chapter, which is looking at a couple of big topics here. We're looking at discrimination, we're looking at racism, we're looking at the introduction of segregation, and essentially understanding the development of African American lives in America prior to the Civil War, which is going to lead into changes that 100 years later become the civil rights movement in the United States for African Americans, as well as other minorities. And then even into today, where we still see there's a lot of discrimination, racism that exists in the United States and around the world. And so when we start talking about this topic, understand that this is an issue that is still evolving. And it's very important to understanding our own society in today's world. So when you're doing this book, I want you to be able to convey that in some way, whether it's through a narrator, whether it's through character development. It's a book. Make it a book, okay? If you want to do it like an autobiography, you're welcome to do so, but pick a character from this time period. So doing someone like, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. or Malcolm X or Rosa Parks, that would be great to do if it was the civil rights movement in the 1960s, but that's not really going to work for this project. If you want to find a character on like an autobiography from this time period and do it that way, you're welcome to. But if you want to develop your own make-believe person and run with it, do that as well. But it's a book, character development. You need to have images and pictures. You need to have a storyline. You need to have a beginning and end, introduction, all of those things, okay? And that's why I'm encouraging you to work in groups, because it is a lot of work. So whenever you're doing this project, if you run into some speed bumps, you're not really sure how to get around some of the obstacles that you're encountering, please communicate with me. I will help you as best I can. But you definitely, and this is something I'm seeing in some of the projects, you must read chapter 20 in the book, okay? The information for this project is coming directly from the TCI readings. So please make sure you're reading it and you're not just Googling these topics, because you're not going to be able to get the information that I'm really looking for. I thought that the Chapter 19 projects that I've seen so far have been excellent, especially with the understanding of the essential questions. So I'm expecting the same level of project in this chapter as well. If you have any questions, again, please reach out. Let me know if you are struggling to find a group to work with, and I can try to match you up with some people if that's what you want to do. You're welcome to do this project on your own. It's just a lot of work, and I'm warning you about that now. So if you want to work with someone and you don't know who to work with, contact me, and I'll put it out there, and we'll see if we can get you help, okay? All right, guys, good luck with Chapter 20. Make sure you're reading it. There's no vocabulary project for this chapter. It's just going to be the book project. It's a lot of work, so get started on it early. All right, guys, see you soon. Hope all is well.